Hades 2 is currently in active development, and developer Supergiant Games has let us know that at least one major update will be coming to the game in 2025. The Olympic update that came out in the tail end of 2024 was massive, adding new familiars, weapon aspects, keepsakes, and then some. But that doesn't stop me from thinking about the future. In this video, we'll be going over the top 3 things I'd like to see added in the game's next early access update, not including major endgame story moments that I believe will be reserved for the launch patch. Some examples of these moments that I think will be reserved for the launch patch are the spell that will prevent Kronos from regenerating and the spell that will grant Dora access to her old memories. And if that big 2025 update is already out by the time you're watching this video could still be a fun watch to see how many things I predicted correctly or was just way off about. Let's go. Number 3, the addition of Gale. In Hades 2's Olympic update, Hecate gains a new dialogue option, granting Malinois permission to befriend her 2 familiars, Hecuba and Gale. Hecuba was actually added as an encounterable companion in the 2024 Olympic update, but Gale was not. But the dialogue with Hecate lets us know that Supergiant Games does have plans to add Gale eventually. Gale is a polecat, a small and furry creature similar to a ferret. The mythology around her usually relates to her being a powerful sorceress that was transformed into a polecat. As for my prediction for Gale, I believe her familiar ability will focus on boosting hex builds in some way due to her close relation to Hecate and her being a sorceress previously. Hecuba already boosts your overall magic amount and can grant magic regeneration, so I think helping out your hex is the only other option here. She may grant increased hex charge rate, extra points during Path of Stars upgrades, or maybe even increase the potency of some hexes. Hex builds feel like they're just one piece away from being really great, especially after we got a hex-focused weapon aspect in the Olympic update, and Gale may just be the edge that they need to do really great. Number 2, the return of Aries, the god of war, the king of slicing shots himself. Aries is the only major Olympian that gave us boons in Hades 1 that has yet to reappear in Hades 2 now that Dionysus and Athena have made their grand reappearance. I think Aries has to show up in this game, especially since Olympus is actively at war. While Dionysus is drinking and partying his worries away to avoid the conflict, I'm sure that Aries is embracing the conflict and having a great time. He revels in violence and bloodshed, and I'm sure that he's happy to see Malinois slaughter so many enemies night after night. Design-wise, I'd like to see a more crazed and disheveled look about him. He was pretty clean-cut and put together in Hades 1, but I'd love to see him let loose and look a little crazy with all the bloodshed going on. I expect Aries to return in a similar way that Artemis, Athena, and Dionysus did, as a chance encounter with unique once-per-run boons. A few boon examples might be applying Doom the first time you strike an enemy with attack or special, creating a Blade Rift whenever you cast, or automatically activating revenge boons after a set amount of time. As for his keepsake, I think it might have something to do with having Death Defiances to serve as a counterpart to Athena's keepsake, which wants you to have no Death Defiances in order to activate. Although I'm a little iffy on that one because Aries is more about spreading carnage, so hanging on to your extra lives, I don't know if it really fits him thematically. Number 1, the addition of hidden aspects. The Hades weapon aspects. One of the greatest strengths of the Hades series is experimenting with various weapon aspects to see which gods work well with which aspects. It's really fun to find a really broken legendary or duo boon for a particular aspect, so adding more aspects is just adding to the overall build options and replay value of the game. All of the weapons in Hades 2 currently have 3 aspects each, and the only ones we're currently missing are the hidden weapon aspects, which in Hades 1 drastically changed how the base weapon worked and were always associated with a figure from a different mythos or culture. Fun option I would love to see for the staff is an aspect wielded by Sun Wukong that leaves clones of Malinois around to distract enemies and draw aggro away from you at the cost of some HP. While I find this option really fun, I think it's more likely that we may see a staff aspect related to the Egyptian god Anubis, as he had a lot to do with death in the underworld. Then again, aspects aren't always related to death in these games, so maybe I'm just overthinking it. I'm having trouble coming up with concepts for the rest of the aspects other than the staff, but I'd love to hear what you guys think would be a good fit for those. And that's it. Those are my top 3 hopes for Hades 2's next major update before full release. What do you guys think? If there's anything big you feel I missed, please let me know. And if you're watching this in the future after the big 2025 update has already come out, how smart or stupid am I? See ya!